I died on a rainy Tuesday in October, choking on the bitter taste of betrayal as my Honda Civic hydroplaned off the slick interstate near Baltimore, slamming into the guardrail with a screech that echoed the scream I'd never let out. The last thing I saw was Alex's face, my fiancé, my partner, the man I'd built my entire goddamn career around, flashing on my phone screen, his text unread but screaming volumes. "We're done, Sienna. No one will believe a washed-up hack like you." And then, nothing. Blackness. Until the world snapped back into focus like a rubber band stretched too tight, and I was staring at my reflection in the cracked mirror of my cramped Brooklyn apartment bathroom, 28 years old again, heart pounding as if I'd just run a marathon from hell. It was June, 3 months before the crash that ended me the first time around. My hands, unscarred and steady, gripped the sink, knuckles white. The date on my phone confirmed it, June 15th, 2023. I'd just pitched the story of my life to Alex over takeout tie the night before, the one that would expose Senator Harlan Graves' dirty empire of backroom deals with Big Pharma. I'd trusted him with the docs, the whistleblower tapes, everything. In my first life, he'd twisted it all, leaked just enough to the Times to claim it as his own Pulitzer bait, then buried me in plagiarism accusations that turned my newsroom into a funeral parlor. Sponsors fled, editors ghosted, and the whispers followed me like shadows. Sienna Reed, the fraud who faked her way to the top. Alex had laughed about it later, over champagne with his new agent, calling me that sad little tryhard who thought she was Woodward. I'd spiraled, lost my job at the Post, drowned in bourbon and bad decisions until that rainy drive to clear my head ended in twisted metal and a coroner's report that read driver error, as if I hadn't been stone-cold sober. But now I was back. The universe's cruelest do-over button hit, just in time to watch the knife twist before it plunged. My reflection stared back, green eyes wide with a fire I hadn't felt since journalism school. "Not this time, you son of a bitch," I whispered, my voice raw but mine. Alex was still snoring in the next room, oblivious, his Armani tie slung over the chair like a noose waiting to tighten. I could smell his cologne mixed with last night's pad thai, familiar, nauseating. This wasn't some ethereal ghost story. This was raw, visceral second chance, every nerve ending alive with the memory of my own blood on the dashboard. I had to play it smart. Pretend the trust was intact. Let him think he had me wrapped around his finger. Because revenge isn't a sprint. It's a goddamn marathon with landmines, and I was lacing up my Nikes for the long haul. I slipped out of the bathroom, padding silently across the hardwood floors of our loft in Williamsburg, the kind of place that screamed up-and-coming creatives, with its exposed brick and overpriced rent. Alex stirred as I eased the bedroom door shut behind me, but he didn't wake. Good. I needed coffee, clarity, a plan that didn't end with me wrapped around a pole. In the kitchen, I fired up the Keurig, black, no sugar, the way I'd always taken it, and pulled out my laptop. The files were still there, zipped in a folder labeled Graves Goldmine. In my first go-round, I'd shared the password with him over wine, giddy at the thought of us breaking it together. This time, I'd change it to something poetic, like Karma is a Bitch 2023. My fingers flew over the keys, securing backups on an encrypted drive I'd stashed in a safety deposit box last week. No, that was future me. Shit. Timelines blurred like a bad acid trip. I had to ground myself. By the time the sun cracked through the blinds, painting the room in hazy gold, I'd outlined the basics. Step 1, isolate the evidence. No more blind shares. Step 2, dig deeper on Alex. I'd always chalked his ambition up to passion, but now, with death's hindsight, the red flags waved like a matador's cape. That internship he'd scored at CBS right after we met. Coincidence? Or had he been playing me from jump? I remembered the fights, subtle at first, him dismissing my leads as too risky, pushing me toward fluff pieces while he networked with the big dogs. And the night before the leak, when he'd accidentally forwarded my email chain to his editor. Gaslighting gold. "Babe, you must have hit reply all by mistake." Yeah, right. As the coffee burned my tongue, resolve hardened in my gut. This wasn't just about the story anymore. It was about dismantling the man who'd mocked my failed career at our engagement party, toasting to Sienna's next big break, whatever that is, while the room chuckled like hyenas. I heard him before I saw him. That low, rumbling yawn as he shuffled in, hair tousled just so, like he'd stepped off a GQ shoot. "Morning, killer," he murmured, wrapping arms around me from behind, lips brushing my neck. Chills ran up my spine, not the good kind. In my head, I flashed to the funeral. His crocodile tears, the way he'd pocketed my old press badge like a trophy. "How'd you sleep?" I asked, forcing a smile as I twisted to face him, casual as pie. "Like a rock, dreaming about that Graves pitch. You gonna let me in on the fun, or keep playing lone wolf?" His blue eyes sparkled with that boyish charm that had hooked me years ago at a press mixer in D.C. Back then, he'd been a stringer for NPR, all wide-eyed idealism. Now, I saw the shark beneath. "Soon," I lied, tracing a finger down his chest. "Just tying up loose ends. Don't want to jinx it." He bought it, or at least pretended to, pouring his own cup and launching into shop talk. His latest podcast gig, the senator's upcoming fundraiser. I nodded, laughed in the right places, but my mind raced ahead. By noon, we'd be at brunch with his agent, schmoozing over avocado toast. I'd use it. Plant seeds. Make him think I was still his ride or die. Brunch was at this overhyped spot in Dumbo, the kind where influencers posed with their oat milk lattes like it was the Met Gala. Alex's agent, Marla, sharp as a stiletto, with a bob that could cut glass, held court at our corner table, scrolling her phone. "Sienna, darling, tell me you've got something juicy brewing. Alex says you're on to Graves." "That's dynamite." I sipped my mimosa, the bubbles fizzing like my nerves. "It's heating up. But hush, walls have ears." Alex squeezed my knee under the table, possessive. Marla leaned in, eyes gleaming. This was my in. "Actually, Marla, I've got a contact in Graves' inner circle. Whistleblower stuff. But it's sensitive. Need to vet it solo first." She arched a brow. "Solo? Honey, that's how careers die. Share the load." Alex chimed in, smooth as silk. "She's got this, Marla. Sienna's the brains here." Lies, all of it, but it bought me time. As we wrapped, plates cleared and checks split, his treat, always the gentleman. I excused myself to the ladies' room. Locked in a stall, I fired off an encrypted email to my old source, the pharma exec who'd flipped in my first life. Change of plans. Meet ASAP. No Alex. Heart hammering. I flushed for show and emerged, the picture of poise. Back home, the afternoon blurred into research rabbit holes. I pored over public records, cross-referencing Alex's career jumps with Graves' campaign donations. Bingo, a shell company linked to Alex's first big break funneled cash to a PAC that bankrolled the senator. Coincidence? My ass. By evening, as Alex prepped for a networking call, I confronted the mirror again. "You're not the victim anymore," I told my reflection. "You're the storm." Dinner was takeout, irony not lost on me. And as we ate on the couch, binging some true crime doc, I dropped the bait. What if I told you the whistleblowers got audio? Graves himself green-lighting bribes. His fork paused mid-air, fork tines glinting. "No shit. Babe, that's front page." Eagerness lit his face, but I caught the flicker, the calculation. "Show me." "Tomorrow," I promised, nestling into him. That night, as his breathing evened out beside me, sleep evaded me. Memories clawed back. The newsroom humiliation, colleagues averting eyes, the eviction notice after my savings dried, that final drive, rain lashing the windshield like accusations. I'd begged him once, in a voicemail he never returned. Why, Alex? We were a team. Silence. Now, I'd make him beg. The next week was a tightrope walk. I fed him crumbs, redacted docs, vague timelines, while I built my fortress. Met the whistleblower in a dingy Jersey diner, her hands shaking as she slid over fresh drives. "Heard rumors about your guy," she whispered, glancing at the door. "Watch your back, Sienna." I did. Installed tracking on my phone, mirrored his emails via a ghost account. The deeper I dug, the uglier it got. Alex wasn't just opportunistic, he was embedded. Text to a burner. "Keep her busy. Graves owes me." My stomach churned. The man I'd loved had been playing double agent, trading my dreams for his ladder climb. By mid-July, the tension coiled like a spring. We'd argued, staged on my part, about trust issues. He gaslit masterfully. "You're paranoid, Sienna. This story's making you crazy." I let tears fall, real ones from the ache of what we'd lost before it even began. But inside, ice. I reached out to a freelance hacker buddy from J-School, paid in crypto for dirt on Alex's finances. Offshore accounts. Bribes masked as consulting fees. The noose tightened. Then, the first crack. At a rooftop party in Soho, schmoozing donors. Alex cornered me by the railing, city lights sprawling below like a glittering trap. "You're holding out on me," he hissed, breath hot with gin. "I know it. Share the files, or we're done." My laugh was brittle. "Done? After everything?" Heart pounding, I leaned in, voice low. "You think I don't see you, Alex? The late nights, the meetings. Who's the real hack here?" His slap was quick, hidden by the crowd's chatter. A glancing blow to my cheek that stung like hellfire. No one noticed. We were just another couple passionately discussing. I tasted blood, but smiled through it. "Hit me again, and the story dies with you." He backed off, charming mask slipping back on. But the seed was planted. Doubt. That night, driving home in silence, I plotted the escalation. Controversial? Hell yes. I'd leak a teaser, anonymously, to a rival outlet. Watch him squirm. The leak hit Drudge Report at dawn. Pharma giant bribe senator, whistleblower audio surfaces. No names, just enough to rattle cages. By breakfast, Alex's phone exploded. "What the fuck, Sienna?" he roared, slamming his mug down. Coffee splashed like accusations. "Not me." I lied coolly, scrolling my own alerts. "But damn, it's out." His face twisted, rage, fear, calculation. He stormed out, muttering about damage control. I exhaled, shaky. Step 3, isolate him. I called Marla, feigning concern. "Alex is spiraling. Think he's in over his head." She promised to talk him down. "Good. Let the wolves circle." As July bled into August, the heat wave mirrored the pressure cooker we lived in. Alex grew distant, buried in calls, his charm fraying at the edges. I played the supportive girlfriend, cooking his favorites, whispering encouragements, all while compiling the dossier that would bury him. The buried secret? Not just graves. Alex had fabricated evidence in a prior story, a whistleblower's suicide that cleared a tech CEO's path to billions. I'd missed it before, blinded by love. Now it was my ace. One sweltering night, as thunder rumbled over the East River, he cracked. Pacing the loft, sweat beading on his brow, he unloaded. "You think you're the only one with dreams? Graves promised me the world, bureau chief, book deal. You were collateral." I froze, fork midway to my mouth. There it was, the confession, raw and unfiltered. "Collateral?" My voice was steel. "You sold me out for a corner office?" He laughed, bitter. "Your failed career? Please. You were coasting on nepotism, daddy's old post connections. I made you relevant." Lies, all of it. My dad was a copy editor who died broke, but the mockery landed like a gut punch. Echoes of my first death. His toast at the party, the room's titter. Rage boiled, but I reined it. Then why not leave? Why the frame job? Because ruining you was the fun part. His eyes gleamed, cruel. Watching you beg. Pathetic. The room spun. This was it, the deep betrayal, laid bare. I stood, slow, deliberate. "Game over, Alex." I tossed my phone on the table. The recording app blinked red. His face drained of color. "You bitch." He lunged, but I was faster, dodging to the door. Locked it behind me, heart thundering as I bolted down the stairs. Outside, rain pelted the pavement, mirroring the storm inside. I hailed a cab to a friend's in Queens, crashing on her couch with the audio file uploading to my secure cloud. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving. Phase 2 complete. Now, the real revenge began. Hiding out at Lena's felt like borrowing time in a safe house, the kind you see in those gritty spy flicks where the hero licks wounds before the counterstrike. Lena, my J-school ride or die, a photo editor at Vice with tattoos snaking up her arms like barbed wire, didn't pry when I showed up soaked and shaking at 2 a.m. "Ex troubles?" she asked, tossing me dry sweats and a mug of chamomile that tasted like regret. I nodded, curling into her lumpy couch, the city humming beyond the fire escape. "Worse. He's a traitor." She squeezed my shoulder. "No more questions. That's what real friends do. They arm you with silence and a spare key." By morning, the audio was gold in my vault. I'd edited it clean. Alex's voice, crisp as a confession booth, spilling the Graves ties, the fabricated suicide. My name dropped like a punchline. Ruining you was the fun part. Played it back on loop, each word a whetstone sharpening my edge. But revenge? It demands precision, not impulse. I couldn't just blast it on Twitter, That'd scream setup. No, this needed layers. Controversial moves that'd make headlines and hemlines rise in shock. First, go public with the Graves story, solo. Claim it as mine. Force Alex into the shadows. Risky? Absolutely. The Post might laugh me out, but with the whistleblower's backing, I had proof. I crashed Lena's shower, hot water scalding away the night's grime, and by noon, I was suited up, black sheath dress, heels that clicked like countdowns, heading to my old editor's office in Midtown. The elevator ride to the 22nd floor was a vertigo trip, memories assaulting. The day Alex and I celebrated our first byline together, high-fiving over vending machine cokes. Now, alone, I straightened my spine. Miriam, gray-streaked bulldog of a woman, who'd mentored me through my first scoop on police brutality in the Bronx, looked up from her desk, surprise flickering behind her glasses. Sienna Reed. Thought you were persona non grata after the incident. Plagiarism was a lie, I said, sliding into the chair uninvited, folder of docs fanned like a poker hand. And I've got the mother load on Graves. Audio, emails, the works. But it's personal. Alex was in on the frame. Her brows shot up. Your fiancé? Jesus, kid. She flipped through pages, whistle sharp between her teeth. This is explosive. But if it's tainted, it's clean. I recorded him confessing last night. I played the clip, low volume, her face hardening with each syllable. Silence stretched as it ended, broken only by the AC's hum. Publish it, I pressed. With me bylined. Front page. Miriam leaned back, steepling fingers. You're asking me to torch bridges. Alex is golden boy now. Pulitzer's in his pocket from that your story. She eyed me, calculating. What's the angle? Revenge porn. Justice? I countered, though the line blurred. Controversial decision 1. Burn the newsroom, sacred cows. Leak to competitors if she balked. But she didn't. Give me 48 hours to verify. If it holds, your lead. But Sienna, this paints you as the jilted lover. Mud will stick. Let it. I stood, handshake firm. I've got Teflon now. Outside, the summer sun baked the sidewalks, tourists dodging hot dog carts like landmines. I texted Lena, in motion. Cover me? Her reply, always. Wine at 8. I smiled, first real one in days. Baby steps. The verify wait was agony. I holed up at Lena's, chain-smoking menthols on her balcony, bad habit from deadline nights, while doom-scrolling X for Graves chatter. The teaser leak had blown up, cable news panels dissecting, Pharmagate, pundits speculating on the anonymous source. Alex's handle was quiet, radio silence that screamed panic. Good. Let him stew. I reached out to my hacker contact, Jax, a wiry kid from Brooklyn Tech with a mohawk and morals for hire. Deeper on the offshore stuff. I wired, adding a bonus for speed. His ping back, found more. He's laundering through NFTs, shady AF. Attached files, screenshots of wallets tied to Graves' pack. Alex's alias popping like acne. Decision 2 loomed, thornier. Confront the whistleblower again, but this time, push for names. Risky, she could bolt, or worse, tip Alex. But without the human face, the story stayed abstract. I met her in Central Park, under the Delacorte arch, tourists milling like cover. She arrived in a floppy hat and sunglasses, paranoia etched in her slump. You said no loose ends, she hissed, clutching a thermos like a lifeline. Change of heart. I need the senator's direct line to the bribes. One name, the fixer. Her eyes darted. Please. This buries them all. She hesitated, rain from last night's storm still puddling the paths. It's Harlan's chief of staff, Victor Lang. But Sienna, if it traces. Won't. Lie maybe. But I hugged her quick, awkward, and she slipped away into the crowd. Victor Lang. I Googled him en route to a payphone, old school, untraceable, dropping an anonymous tip to the FBI hotline. Lang's your man. Check the Vineyard accounts. Click. Controversial? Leaking to feds before press? Yeah, but it forced hands. Graves' empire would crumble from both ends. That night, over Lena's boxed Pinot, I spilled it all. The recording, the pitch, the fed tip. She whistled low. You're playing with fire, see. Alex finds out. He won't. Not till it's too late. We clinked glasses, but sleep came fitful, dreams of twisted wreckage morphing into courtroom dramas where I testified against my own heart. Woke to Miriam's email. Verified. Story runs tomorrow. Meet at 6 a.m. for photos. Elation surged, chased by nausea. This was real. No takebacks. The Post newsroom at dawn was a beast awakening. Printers whirring, reporters hunched over laptops like miners panning for truth. Miriam thrust a mock-up at me, my byline screaming above the fold. Pharma empire crumbles. Senator Graves implicated in multi-million bribe scheme. Subhead: exclusive audio reveals inner circle corruption. Fiancé of reporter tied to cover up. My photo, stern and shadowed, stared back. "You look like a badass," she grunted. The footage snapped away, flashes popping like gunfire. By 10 a.m., it was everywhere. CNN looped the audio snippet, redacted, my voice out. Graves' office issued a vehement denial. Stocks for his pharma pals tanked 15%. My phone vibrated off the hook. Old colleagues. Congrats laced with "what the hell?" Text from unknowns. Then, "Alex, we need to talk. Now." Coffee shop on Bedford. Trap? Probably. But I couldn't dodge forever. "On my way," I replied, grabbing my recorder, habit now. The shop was a hipster haven, baristas tattooed and terse, air thick with oat milk steam. He sat in the back booth, face ashen under the Edison bulbs, stirring a black coffee gone cold. "Sienna. No babe, no killer. Just my name, like a curse." I slid in opposite, ordering a flat white to buy seconds. "You read it." That was my angle. "You stole it." Venom dripped, but fear undercut it, eyes flicking to the door. "Your angle? You mean the one you planned to gut me with?" I leaned in, voice velvet over razor. "I know, Alex. The shell company. The suicide cover-up. Victor Lang sends regards." He paled further, spoon clattering. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" I slid my phone across, audio cued. Hit play. His own voice filled the space, low enough for us alone. Collateral. Fun part. A nearby mom hushed her kid, oblivious. Alex's hand shot out, grabbing my wrist hard. "Turn it off." I yanked free, smile feral. "Touch me again, and it goes viral. With video." Bluff too. He hadn't hit record that night, but the threat landed. He sagged, defeated. "What do you want? Money? A cut?" "Nothing you can give." Pause for effect. "Your ruin." I stood, tossing cash for the drinks. "Graves is done. You're next." Outside, adrenaline crashed like waves, legs jelly. Lena picked me up, blasting Chapel Roan to cut the tension. "You slayed," she crowed. But as we merged onto the BQE, doubt crept. Was this justice, or just my ego's bonfire? The fallout accelerated like a runaway train. By evening, feds raided Graves' DC townhouse. Live on every channel, suits and windbreakers carting boxes under umbrella lights. Victor Lang lawyered up, but not before texting Alex. "I saw the ping on my tracker, she's onto us." Run. Too late. I fed the Post exclusives, Lang's vineyard ledgers, Alex's NFT launders. Each drop a nail in the coffin. Publicly, I played the wounded whistleblower. Interviews with NPR, where I teared up on air about betrayal by the man I loved. Ratings spiked, sympathy poured in. Privately, I seethed. The mockery echoed. Failed career. I'd show him success's sharp edge. Decision 3 hit like vertigo. Sleep with a source? No. Too sleazy, even for this. Instead, I went darker. Hired a PI. Off books, to tail Alex. Photos rolled in. Him meeting shadier fixers in Alphabet City alleys. Cash exchanges under sodium glow. Blackmail material. I drafted the email, anonymous, resigned from CBS. Or the pics drop. Sent from a VPN ghost. His reply, to a decoy account. "Who is this?" "Mine, your karma." He didn't resign, stubborn fuck, but the pressure mounted. Sleepless nights blurred into days, caffeine my blood type. Lena staged an intervention over falafel. "You're scaring me, see. This isn't you." "It is now." I snapped, regret instant. She hugged me fierce. "Then let me help. I've got a contact at 60 Minutes. Seed planted. Twist brewing." August peaked in a heat dome, the city a pressure cooker. Alex called. Voicemail. Voice cracked. "Sienna, please. We can fix this. I love you." Delete. But the plea wormed in, stirring ghosts. My first death's isolation, friends fading, family distant since Dad's passing. Was revenge filling the void, or digging it deeper? Pushed it down. Focus, the climax. Graves indicted, hearings looming. Alex suspended from CBS pending investigation. Marla dumped him via text. I watched the thread hack. Schadenfreude soured quick. Then, the The party. Graves Fundraiser Redux. Now a desperation gala at the plaza. Invite in my inbox. Press pass. Irony thick. I went. Red dress like blood on snow. Recorder in clutch. Alex was there. Schmoozing stragglers. Ty Askew. Our eyes locked across the chandelier-lit ballroom. He weaved through. Face a mask of fury. You win. He snarled, cornering me by the bar. Happy now? My life's ash because of you. Pity flickered, unbidden. You built the pyre, Alex. Lit it yourself. But his next words gutted. You think you're clean? That whistleblower? She was your source on the police story, the one that got the kid killed in the crossfire. Lie? Truth? Memory flashed, the brutality expose, protests turning riotous. A bystander's death, blamed on my sensationalism. I'd carried that guilt like chains. You're lying. Whisper, but doubt cracked my voice. Am I? Check your emails, Sienna. You ignored her warnings. He smirked, that old mockery. Failed career, indeed. Hero? Or homewrecker? The room tilted. I fled to the powder room, splashing water, breath ragged. Pulled my phone, searched archives. There, an unread thread from her, months old. Story could spark violence. Pull back? I dismissed it, deadline fever blind. Oh God. My hands shook. The crime I'd borne? Not just plagiarism. It was blood on my byline. Twist. Alex hadn't invented it. He'd amplified my own buried sin. Nausea hit. Was revenge tainted? I straightened, resolve fracturing but holding. No, I'd own it. Expose us both. Dialed Miriam, addendum to the piece. My role in the riot story. Full disclosure. Her, you sure? Me, certain. Send. Back in the ballroom, Alex waited, glass in hand. Breakthrough. Smug. Fuck you. I raised my champagne, toast sharp. To truths. His phone buzzed. The addendum alert, viral already. Face fell. What did you? Then mine rang. Unknown DC area. Answered, Ms. Reed? Leslie Stahl, 60 Minutes. That disclosure? Gutsy. Exclusive on you. The woman who burned her own house down for the light. Heart stopped. Seconds after his mockery, the call that crowned me. The 60 Minutes call hung in the air like cigar smoke in a backroom deal. Leslie Stahl's voice crisped through the line, that iconic gravel edge that had grilled presidents and mobsters alike. Sienna, we're booking a crew for next week. Your story's not just Graves. It's the gut check on ambition in this cutthroat game. You in? Alex stood frozen 2 feet away, champagne flute trembling in his grip, the plaza's opulence mocking his unraveling empire. His eyes, those blue traps I'd fallen for, widened in disbelief, the smirk he'd wielded like a weapon now a rictus of defeat. Tell me you didn't, he mouthed, but I did. I told her yes, voice steady as the Hudson at dawn. Send the contract. I'll bear it all. I hung up, the ballroom's murmur swelling back like tide, crystal clinks and laughter a surreal soundtrack to our implosion. Alex lunged, grabbing my elbow, not hard, but desperate, nails digging crescents. You crazy bitch. This ends us both. You'll be the villain, the hack who sparked a riot, betrayed her man. His breath reeked of desperation, gin-laced pleas. Close up. I saw the cracks, stubble shadowing his jaw, eyes bloodshot from nights plotting my fall. Pity? Maybe a flicker, but mostly, a cold satisfaction, the kind that settles in your bones after a fever breaks. Us. I wrenched free, voice low venom. There was no us after you sold my soul for a byline. I stepped back, heels sinking into the Persian rug, the crowd parting oblivious. Watch the segment, Alex. You'll see what real exposure looks like. He staggered, a ghost in tailored wool, as I turned on my heel, red dress swirling like a matador's cape. Security eyed us from the edges. Graves' event. After all, now a media circus with his indictment looming. But I waved them off with a smile, the ice queen incarnate. Outside, the August night wrapped humid arms around me, paparazzi flashes popping like distant gunfire. Sienna, comment on the fiancé angle, one shouted. I paused at the curb, Lena's Uber idling. Truth's the only comment that matters. Slide in, door slam. Acceleration. Freedom's first gasp. Lena hooped from the wheel, her Prius a bullet through midtown gridlock. 60 minutes? Holy shit, see? You're a legend. I laughed, manic edge to it, head lolling against the seat. Or a pariah. Depends on the edit. We blasted up to her place, cracking a bottle of Prosecco that fizzed like my nerves. Over greasy slices from the corner joint, pepperoni dripping like guilty secrets. I spilled the powder room epiphany. The unread email. The riot's shadow. I buried it, Lena. My mistake lit the match. She chewed thoughtful, sauce on her chin. And, you're human. Own it. That's why Stahl called. Not the perfect victim, the flawed fighter. Her words landed soft, a balm on raw skin. We talked till 3 a.m., plotting the interview. No holds barred. The betrayal, the rebirth, not literal, couldn't spill that cosmic tea, but the metaphorical wake-up. The controversial choices, the Fed tip, the anonymous email, even flirting with the PI shadows. They'll crucify you for the gray areas, she warned. Let M. I clinked her glass. Better crucified than complicit. Sleep came eventually, tangled in her guest sheets. Dreams a montage of wreckage and spotlights. Woke to alerts. My disclosure piece trending. Sienna says, split reactions flooding X. Heroes hailed me. Whistleblower with balls. While trolls tore in. Fame whore torches X for clicks. Balanced, brutal. American as apple pie and pitchforks. Prep week was a whirlwind. Stahl's team flew in. Producers with clipboards, a director barking angles. Setting up in a neutral Tribeca loft. All exposed beams and neutral tones to capture authenticity. I arrived in jeans and a tee, hair loose, no makeup armor. Leslie herself greeted me, handshake firm, eyes sharp as she sized me up. You've got fire, kid, but we'll need the pain too. Ready? Nod. We rolled. The lights hit hot, camera lens a black eye staring. Tell us, Sienna, she started, off the cuff warm. How does a rising star become the story's villain? I exhaled, diving in. The pitch to Alex, trusts blindfold. The frame job, whispers turning to roars. He mocked me. I said, voice cracking just right. At our engagement party, toasting my next big break, like I was a joke. That broke something. Cut to the crash, fudged as the low point, not death's door. Then, the turn. I woke up, dug deeper, found not just his betrayal, but my own ghosts. That police story. I ignored a warning. A kid died in the chaos I helped ignite. Tears came unbidden, real. Leslie leaned in. Regret, fuel, revenge. Redemption, I corrected. Exposing graves meant owning my sins too. We covered the leaks, the recording, played snippets, his voice tinny in the lights. Ruining you was the fun part. Gasped from the crew, off mic. The controversial beats. I tipped the feds anonymously. Blackmailed with photos. Not proud, but necessary. In this game, nice finishes last. She pressed. Was it worth it? The man you love, destroyed. Pause. Love dies and lies. This. It's survival. Wrap at dusk, my throat raw, soul scraped. Leslie clasped my shoulder. Brave. Airs Sunday. You'll change the narrative. I floated out, city neon blurring. Called Dad's old number. Disconnected, but habit. Miss you, Pop, wish you could see this. Voicemail to ghosts. The segment dropped like a bomb. Sunday night, America glued. Teaser ads hyped. Betrayal in the byline. Lena hosted watch party. Me, her, a dozen J-School alums crammed on her floor, pizza boxes as shields. Opening chords hit, my face filling screens nationwide. The edits were masterful. Tight cuts, swelling strings on the confession. Twitter ignited midair. Sienna Reed trending. Memes of Alex's smirk captioned, Karma's byline. But the backlash? Savage. Fox called me vindictive harpy. Feminist pods crown me anti-patriarchy icon. Controversy's double-edged sword, slicing both ways. Monday, The Deluge. Book offers, podcast invites, a Harper's profile pitch. The Post promoted me. Interim investigations editor, Miriam's wink. Don't fuck it up. But Alex? Crickets turned to collapse. CBS fired him outright. Statement mealy. Integrity breach. He texted once. Can't believe you'd air that. Monster. Blocked. PI update. Hold up in his folks' Jersey basement. Jobless. Dodging process servers. Graves' trial loomed. Lang flipped for immunity, testifying to Alex's consulting. The noose cinched. Yet, victory tasted metallic. Nights alone in my new sublet. Cozy one bed in Cobble Hill. Rent covered by advances. I paced, ghosts whispering. The riot kid's name. Jamal Hayes, 19, caught in crossfire. I'd lit a vigil candle at his memorial site. Harlem stoop still scarred by flames. Guilt gnawed. Was my revenge penance or deflection? Controversial decision 4. Reach out to his family. Anonymous donation first. $10K from my first check. Earmarked Justice Fund. Then, a letter. I was the reporter. My story helped spark it. I'm sorry. Using my voice now to fix what I can. Mailed, no return. Their reply, weeks later. We don't forgive easy. But keep fighting. Bomb, bitter. As fall chilled the air, leaves crunching underfoot like brittle egos, the climax brewed. Graves' hearing, closed, but leaks galore. I covered it, badge heavy around my neck, testifying as material witness. D.C. Courthouse, marble halls echoing footsteps of the damned. Laying on the stand, sweating under fluorescence, Reed's fiancé, Alexander Hale, facilitated the drops. Knew the suicide was staged. Gasps rippled. Graves, silver fox turned cornered rat, glared daggers from the dock. My turn. Oath, seat, the wood creaking like bones. Ms. Reed. The prosecutor boomed. Your role? I laid it bare. The story, the betrayal, my disclosure. I sought revenge, yes, but truth overrode it. Cross-exam. Defense painted me hysterical. Isn't this personal, Ms. Reed? Jilted lover's vendetta. I met their eyes. Personal became public when he sold out for power. Like your client. Gavel banged recess. Outside, protesters chanted, anti-pharma signs waving like flags. A reporter cornered me. Regrets? Smile thin. Only that it took death's door to wake up. Slip. Too literal. But cameras rolled. Soundbite gold. Back in Brooklyn, wind whipping the bridges, I prepped for the storm's eye. Jack's pinged. Final dirt. Alex's burner logs, plotting my accident. The hydroplane? Tampered brakes, per a shady mechanic. My crash. No accident. Rage reignited, pure kerosene. He hadn't just framed, he'd killed me. First life, coroner missed it, driver error. Now, evidence in hand, I forwarded to feds. Anonymous, but traceable if pushed. Decision 5. Let karma's blade fall, or wield it myself. Went with the latter, subpoenaed his phone records. My lawyer, pro bono from a pod fangirl, grinning, he's toast. The confrontation came unbidden. Mid-October rain lashing windows like my first death's echo. Doorbell buzzed at my sublet. Him, drenched, eyes wild. Sienna, please. They're coming for me. Manslaughter? I didn't lie. I yanked him in, door slamming thunder. You did. Brakes, Alex. The crash. His face crumpled, confession spilling. I panicked. The leak. You were gonna ruin everything. A little sabotage. Thought you'd swerve. Sobs racked him, the golden boy reduced to slime. I loved you. In my way. Disgust curdled. Love? That's murder's alibi. I shoved the PI photos at him. Cash drops, the mechanic's receipt. Sign the plea. Manslaughter, light sentence. Or I push vehicular. Controversial? Coercing a killer? Borders blurred, but blood called for it. He signed, hands shaking, tears mixing with rain. Why not full trial? In me proper? Because I'm not you. Lie. Mercy was exhaustion's gift. Cops collected him at dawn, cuffs clicking final. I watched from the window, coffee steaming, city awakening indifferent. November brought hearings close. Graves guilty, 15 years. Lang 8. Alex, plea deal, 5, with time served pending appeal. My book deal solidified, byline betrayal, a reporter's reckoning. But the twist? In the green room for a Colbert spot, pre-taping, a producer slipped me a file, Jamal's mom's interview outtake. She wants you to know, forgives, if you keep the light on. Tears pricked. Redemption's whisper. Yet, night still haunted. Rebirth's gift, second chance, but scars eternal. I dated casual, a barista with kind eyes, no bylines, but trust? Shattered mosaic. Lena teased, you're free, see. Live. I tried. Jogged the promenade at dawn, East River glittering promise. Wrote the dedication, for Jamal. For the girl who died on I-95. Lights on. Winter clamped down on New York like a vice. December's chill seeping through coat collars and resolve alike. The Colbert taping was a blur of lights and laughs. Stevens' band geeking over my ultimate plot twist, with Alex, the audience whooping as I quipped. Revenge is a dish best served with a subpoena. Clips went viral, my red carpet gown, borrowed, thrifted chic, spawning TikTok dances. But backstage, As confetti rained and high-fives flew, the high crashed. A producer handed me an envelope. Fan mail, they said. Inside, a Polaroid, faded, of Alex and me at prom. High school sweethearts, awkward grins under balloon arches. Scribbled back, you won. But I broke you first. Emailed from county lockup. Chills spidered. He was caged, yet claws out. The twist I'd half suspected, this wasn't over. My happy ending? A mirage, shimmering in the media glow. Back in Cobble Hill, snow dusting the brownstones like powdered sugar lies, I burned the photo in the sink. Flames licking edges, acrid smoke curling up. Called my therapist, new addition to the routine, post-rebirth ritual. Dr. Ellis, with her no-bullshit Brooklyn drawl. Closure's a myth, Sienna. Its chapters. Session dragged. Unpacking the guilt, the God complex of revenge. You played judge, jury. What if the scales tipped wrong? I shrugged. Alex killed me. Graves poisoned thousands. Tip accepted. But doubt lingered, a low hum. The controversial core. Had I become the monster? Blackmail, coercion, tools of the trade I'd wielded like a pen. America loved the underdog, but devoured its gray heroes. Holiday season ramped the frenzy. Book tour kicked off. Barnes & Noble in Union Square, lines snaking past midnight. Fans clutching arcs like talismans. You're my inspiration, a college kid gushed, eyes shining. Exposing the boys' club. I signed, smiled, but inside. Fractured. A heckler at the Q&A. What about the riot? You profited off death. Mike feedback squealed. Security ushered him out. But his words stuck, burr under saddle. Jamal's mom, Evelyn, had invited me to Christmas dinner, post-letter. I went, tentative, bearing pies from a soul food spot in Bed-Stuy. Her Harlem walk-up smelled of collards and cornbread. Photos of her son beaming from walls. Football star, poet lost. He'd like you, she said, hugging tight. Fighting the good fight. We talked late, her stories humanizing the ghost. No forgiveness speech, just presence. Keep going, she urged. For all the Jamals. Drove home through slush, lighter. Penance, partial. New Year's Eve loomed, city's pulse throbbing. Lena dragged me to a rooftop bash in Bushwick, EDM thumping, fireworks prepped to bloom. New Year, new you, she yelled over bass. I wore silver, sequins catching lights like stars. Amid the crush, a face from the past, my old post rival, now CNN anchor, clinking glasses. Sienna Reed, the Phoenix. Spill, what's next? I grinned, bubbly buzzing. Podcast. Deep dives on buried truths. Truth. I'd greenlit it. Second takes. Interviewing whistleblowers who'd tasted betrayal. First guest? The pharma exec, my spark. But the night twisted. Mid-countdown, phone vibrated. Block number, voice garbled. Sienna. It's me. Alex, somehow. Appeals in. They'll see your coercion. You'll fall with me. Click. Heart stuttered. How? Jill call smuggled? Panic clawed, but I shoved through the crowd. Confetti exploding overhead. 12:01 a.m. kissed a stranger. Soft, meaningless. Then bolted to Lena. He's reaching. She frowned. Change numbers. Lawyer up. Did both. Dawn breaking gray. January thawed the freeze, but not the undercurrent. Podcast launched to buzz. iTunes Top 20, guests spilling guts on air. Evelyn guested episode 3, My Son's Story, through her lens. Listeners wept, ratings soared. But Alex's appeal gained traction. His lawyer spinning abuse by X, citing my recording as entrapment. Tabloids feasted. Reporters' revenge backfires. My team lawyered harder. Counters with the break tampering forensics. Irrefutable. Pulled from impound post story. Climax redux. Court date. February blizzard raging outside the federal building. I testified again. Snow-veiled windows frosting the drama. He confessed murder. I stated, voice echoey. The crash was no accident. Exhibits. Mechanic's affidavit. Tampered parts. Alex, orange jumpsuit stark, glared from the dock. Thinner. Haunted. His cross. She provoked it. Vengeful witch. Judge's gavel. Appeal denied. Bail revoked. 20 years. No parole. Outside, media scrum. Sienna. Justice served. I paused, flakes melting on lashes. Justice is ongoing. No victory lap. Just quiet exhale. Drove to the river. Parked. Watched ferries cut wakes. Rebirths, full circle, from wreckage to witness stand. But the twist? In the rear view, a figure. Me, First life Sienna, pale and pleading. Was it worth it? Whisper. Yes. And no. The controversy. I'd saved lives. Pharma bribes halted, probes spawning reforms, but cost souls, including mine. Happy ending? Nah. Bittersweet upgrade. Spring bloomed tentative, cherry blossoms dusting the mall during a DC promo stop. Book hit NYT list. 60 minutes follow-up teased. Where is she now? I turned it down. Enough spotlights. Instead, invested in a nonprofit. Byline Watch, training young reporters on ethics, red flags, and love and lines. Jamal's fund grew, scholarships blooming. Dated the barista, Mark, with his easy laugh and no agenda. You're intense, he said one night, tangled in my sheets. Good intense. I laughed, tracing his tattoos. Trust rebuilt, brick by brick. Yet, echoes lingered. Late nights, laptop glowing, I draft unsent letters to Alex. You broke me. I rebuilt sharper. Delete. Therapy unpacked it. Revenge was your armor. Now shed it. Tried. Ran half marathons, lungs burning pennants. Visited Dad's grave in Jersey, weeds choking the stone. Proud pop. Messy win. Wind whispered yes. Summer circled back. Anniversary of the pitch. June 15th. Sunlight slanting gold through my window. I stood at the mirror, 30 now, second time around. Lines faint but earned. Podcast episode 50, me solo. Rebirth isn't literal, it's choice. I died inside, came back swinging. For the betrayed, the buried, rise. Hit publish. Phone buzzed, Lena, brunch? Yes. Life's rhythm, American gritty. Hustle, heartbreak, horizon. But the final twist? A package arrived, unmarked. My old press badge, from the first life, bent but unbroken. No note. Alex? Evelyn? Universe? Didn't matter. I pinned it to the corkboard, beside Jamal's photo, smiling, eternal. Poured coffee, black. Stepped out. The story? Not ended. Just mine to write. In the end, revenge wasn't the fire, it was the forge. I emerged tempered, flawed, fierce. And America? She watched, judged, moved on. But me? I ran toward the next byline. Ghosts at my back, light ahead.